Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 92 of the Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Cosmic Eye Brewing. Check them out on social media at cosmiceye.beer. You can listen to Sam talk about the dream of opening this brewery before it happened a couple years ago on episode 4 with Sacha of Intronaut. It's a family-run business, so show your support. Go by the tasting room, pick up a beer, pick up some cans, and if you show up wearing a metal shirt or any Cosmic Eye gear, you'll get $1 off of a full pour. They'll hook you up, and you get some prizes. So follow at cosmiceye.beer. Show them some love. In this episode, I talked to Richie Cavalera of the band Incite. We talk a little bit about their recently released 5th studio album, Built to Destroy. We talk a little bit about what it's like to be on tour with his stepdad, Max Cavalera and Soulfly, and Unearth. Actually caught him in the middle of that tour as they were driving to the venue. We talk about music. We talk about what drives him. We talk about his favorite drink and what he does on his time off. I had a great time talking to him, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. Don't forget to pick up their record, Built to Destroy. Check them out on social media. And also give us a follow on social media if you're listening and you're not already following. Go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/rockandrollbeerguy. Support the podcast. It's just a couple bucks. Exclusive interviews from Psycho Las Vegas, exclusive merchandise, and more to come. And while you're at it, leave us a review on iTunes. Those really help us out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Cheers.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Sorry about that.
No worries. You're at a venue?
Yeah, we just got loaded in. Everything's starting to get going, all that fun shit.
Sound check, unloading.
Oh, yeah. I be doing merchandise and all that fun shit, so it's fun.
That's cool. I'm surprised you guys don't have a merch girl, but...
No, not yet. One of these days we'll have that kind of money. Yeah, one day we'll get that going.
For sure, brother. Well, let me do the little intro here. Welcome, everyone, to the Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast. I'm here with Richie Cavalera of Incite.
Yeah, what's up, metalheads?
What's up? And you guys are on tour right now with Unearth and Soulfly?
Yeah, man. We've been out here for about 3.5 weeks. Got about a week and a half left. Been sick as hell.
That's awesome, dude. And, last name is Cavalera. You're the stepson of Max, and you're on tour with him right now. How's that for you?
Oh, man, this is, man, I mean, what the hell can you say? Most dads go out hunting. We rock together, man. It's cool as shit. It's great experience. It's fun to play in front of the crowds that he brings, and as well as, just kind of bring in a good competition between the family. I always love that.
Hell yeah, dude. And competition, and also, just when you're on tour with someone like that, the friends that come out always to visit, and it's friends and family at pretty much every city at that point.
Yeah, and it's been nice, man, because, they've been touring a lot. We've been touring a lot, so I haven't really seen them that much. So nice to reconnect, that's for sure as well. For sure. And you guys just released an album last month, Built to Destroy? Hell yeah, man. Crushing.
Yeah, I heard it's doing real well. I heard a few tracks. I really enjoyed it. And it seems like it's I wrote here, heavy songs for heavy topics.
Yeah, no, we felt like we got it all dialed in on this one. We had a lot of time. We had, a great team behind it, and, just having the right pieces in place, and, just the growth we've had over the years. It was just a fun record to make, man. And it's great to have the kind of response that we've gotten from it.
That's awesome. And where'd you guys record it?
Out in California in Orange County with Steve Evans.
Oh, Steve. I know Steve. He's awesome.
Yeah, great.
He does a lot of work with the homies like Dillinger and Every Time I Die and stuff like that.
Yeah, great dude.
That's great. And like I mentioned, heavy music for heavy topics. Like a lot of some of the topics that I saw was just like people dealing with the fact that your shitty decisions or keeping people down, like bigger, powerful people like in government or corporations keeping people down. Is that something? Am I right on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you find that with each record. It's kind of a visual of what's going on in the world and what I've seen, what I've felt, and I think millions can relate to, on this album in particular. Yeah, I think the wealth inequality, the planet, just things like that I think are really touching right now and really things that I think people need to open up to. And, metal isn't always about just fantasy and fairy tales. It's always about real motion, real life, real things that, I think kind of bring us all together that we can be pissed about.
Hell yeah. And I mean, that's... I try to explain that to my friends. I have a lot of coworkers and friends that aren't into metal, and it's like, it's not that I'm an angry person all the time. I have the metal to let it out, and
Yeah, no, completely, man. That's totally how it is.
Yeah, you go to shows, you mosh, you release that anger amongst each other, not in a violent kind of like, hurt someone kind of a way, but you all let out your frustration and your stress from the everyday life, and this crazy shit that's going on.
Yeah, and that's how, every record is for us. Slaughter, I was 19. I was really pissed off about just anything, So I think you kind of see the topics change with each record. But, mostly it's, society, us, people, things like that I think need attention.
Hell yeah, dude. And, I mean, you guys have been around for a while. Have you found it that, like, other metal dudes, families and friends that are in other bands reach out to help out with you guys? Is it a good community?
I mean, metal in general is a good community, but, there's a lot of bands fighting for the same opportunities, for the same tours, for the same agents, for the same record labels. I think everything, so it's friendly, but, it's still a battle, amongst each other because, like I said, there's only so few of those things to go around for all of us to have. So, we just go out there and try to do what we can and help people along the way and, do things that, people have done for us and just kind of continue that sense of what a band is. Because I think it's changing, you don't have these headliners anymore that, can just push everybody around and be complete dicks. I think it's now you tour with some of these bigger bands that are new, and they share the stage, they share the dressing rooms, they help load in your gear, and it's cool to see the shift from this rock star mentality to more of a community based environment.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear you. It's something that's important. A lot of them forget, that we are a smaller circle of the population. Metal isn't the most popular thing. And you can't, just because you used to be a rock star at some point doesn't mean you should act that way. Like times change. You need to support your brethren, or else this whole art and medium is going to die out,
Oh, without question. That's a big thing I put on all these older bands that are kind of nearing their end. They're not really, doesn't seem like they're doing a lot to help the smaller bands, but, it is what it is, and we'll just keep fighting to get our spot and get our place, man, like everybody else.
Yeah, man. And I hate to keep doing this because I do it often in the podcast where I compare shit to wrestling, but it's the same old school, like, wrestling mentality that I appreciate where the older guys always, give the rub to the new guys, like pass the torch. You gotta, you know what I mean? Like, they have a hard time letting go of their ego in the rock industry where, like, they can maybe take a page out of that old school wrestling mentality, Yeah,
I think a lot of it too is just, not wanting to give up playing. I think that's a feeling that we all share that can't be replaced. It can't be get from somewhere else, man. It's only produced when you're on that stage. So yeah. I understand why it's prolonged and what it is,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I get it too, dude. I was in a band for 10 years and haven't been on stage in 3, and I'm already feeling, I'm like, if I need to do it again. That can't just be it. You know what I mean?
No, completely, man. I think that's how every man feels about it, so it's just trying to get in there and make your part.
Yeah, and then not even music, just any I guess career you might have, like just the word retirement never, like, very few people look forward to that retirement word if you actually care about what you're doing,
Yeah, no, I think, when you love something, you don't want to ever give it up.
Yeah, dude. If you weren't a musician, what would you be? Like, what other profession do you think you would be into?
I would have been a truck driver.
Truck driver, traveling?
Yeah, I always loved it, man. Something about it. I'm, lucky with the band. I get to drive a van, so I'm kind of best of both worlds with what I do.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, I always thought about that as well, because I do love traveling, but I drive like tour buses, just to actually still be kind of in the scene,
Yeah, completely, man.
Get to see shows. Well, and actually, a lot of the drivers don't even get to see the show. They get to sit in the van and wait in the truck.
Yeah, no, they get the nice hotel while we all sit in vans and shit. They got the cush life.
If you had a fantasy tour package that you'd want to be on the road with, like aside from the one you're doing now, like what would the bands be that you'd pick?
Lamb of God, Power Trip, and Incite.
Jesus Christ, you didn't even take a second to think about that. That's awesome.
No, it's my goal to make this thing happen. I mean, we're the smallest band out of it, so I don't have much power to do it, but I'm just getting word out there slowly.
Lamb of God, Power Trip, and you guys. I mean, it makes sense. I like it.
Yep, I think it's the best 3 real metal bands out there right now.
That's awesome.
Or just heavy metal, no bullshit, no nothing, just straight to the fact.
What's the biggest or craziest show you've played so far?
Probably Bogota, or no, Chile, Santiago, Chile.
Oh, dude.
That was a madhouse.
What was that? Was that part of a tour? Or was that a festival?
It was part of a tour. We were opening for Max and Roots.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy how South America really does appreciate metal. It's kind of like Europe in that sense, that the crowd is bigger.
It's not really just appreciation. I think it's just finally getting it. Access to it. Now you have bands coming down there, constantly, so they're being exposed to things they've only seen on, TV or on the radio or whatever it is. So, I think America and Europe, they've had every band, they get every band every year over and over, so it's not new to them.
Yeah, but I mean, like Europe even still has a bigger appreciation than the States do, I think.
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, I've been on this tour, man, and it's been some of the craziest. Orlando was one of the craziest crowds I've seen in years, man. I mean, they were animals, man. So everywhere has their pockets of mayhem, so.
That's true. That is true. I mean, I come from Florida as well, so I'm in LA now, but I spent like 20 years in Florida, and them's is crazy people.
Oh yeah, man. It was, guy stage door broke his kneecap. Like it was fucking just pandemonium.
Yeah. And I know it's a state that, I mean, they just recently legalized marijuana, but it's definitely a state that, I mean, it might as well be legal down there. The entire time I was living there, it was so easily accessible.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's beautiful.
Yeah, dude. Do you a big smoker? You smoke weed?
We are the Cypress Hill of metal, my man.
The Cypress Hill of metal.
You heard it here.
Every day, all day?
All day, every day, man. It's the best cure to life there is.
What's your preference? Because I mean, I know some of the strains make people a little too anxious and panicky. What's your preference?
Oh, I don't care. Stronger the better.
Stronger the better.
Cure that back and road pains.
That's true, man. That is true. I mean, it's one of the few things that people don't take into account is how rough it is to be on the road for months and months and months, on your body. Unless you're living the cush life in a giant tour bus in a bed or something. Even then,
Yeah, it's still hard, man.
Yeah, you're out every day. You're away from your family. You don't have your home situation. So, but the music is worth it.
Yep, that's definitely for sure, man.
Hell yeah, dude. What's your drink of choice?
Usually just straight shot of Jack Daniels.
Nice. No beers?
Nah, I don't touch that stuff.
Ah, all right. So Jack Daniels. So you like the smokier whiskey type of deal, huh?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Johnny Walker Black as well.
Nice. Let me ask you something. You've been in the scene for a long time. Is there anybody that you would like end up punishing one day? Like you're such a fan of that, you know, ask for a picture and like ask for an autograph or anything like that.
Man, I already got to do that. It was with Chino, the Deftones. That dude is, I think, one of the best frontmen in the last 20, 30 years.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. I love that dude. He's one of my favorites growing up and still doing the thing. So.
Yeah, man, he's a badass.
Interesting. So nobody else. I know even like maybe like a legend that's not active right now.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I've been very lucky at the right place at the right time.
Hell yeah. Well, is there any city that you haven't played in that you want to play in?
That's a good question. Japan. Anywhere in Japan.
Hell yeah. I'd love to visit Japan. That's one of those places from high school that I took Japanese classes and shit, and I always wanted to visit, but it's all the way across the other side of the world, man.
Oh, yeah. It's quite a place, man. Definitely want to do that one day.
Do you have any hobbies outside of music and, you know, being on tour and stuff? Like, what do you do when you're home?
I'm a really good relaxer.
You're a good relaxer? Watch movies?
Yeah.
Shit like that?
I mean, after all this, man, yeah, there's nothing to do but just chill out. I got the wife at home, so a lot of my time, other than touring, is devoted to her and, you know, my dog and stuff like that. So we like to go on hikes and, you know, just enjoy the city and enjoy, you know, the outdoors and everything that goes along with being home and relaxing, I guess, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always enjoy time off with the lady. It's the most relaxing part of your life when you're not working, so I get it.
yeah, definitely.
Do you have anything else that you nerd out about, like, you know, comic books or, you know, video games or TV or anything like that?
Man, not in the last 5 years. It's strictly been literally band and life. It's amazing how much a band can consume your life, man. I mean, you think that it's just like playing, but it's not. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know, it doesn't stop. There's always something happening where you need to be involved or, you know, approve or just whatever it may be, man. So I found I've lost a lot of my free time, but I think that was kind of what I was expecting and what I wanted because, you know, I'm going all or nothing. So kind of the way it's worked out.
For sure, especially nowadays with the, you know, you got to stay on top of social media. You got to, a lot of the bands that are smaller end up having to manage them, like certain things like merchandise. Like I just did a podcast with the Oakley Dokley guys, and they were talking about how they had complications with trying to get merch to a certain city because, you know, all those logistics, they consume your day.
Oh, it's a pain in the ass, man. I got a Europe tour that I'm getting ready for where it's like 3 different tours and multiple countries and different transportations, and you know, it's madness, man, all the shit and logistics that go into it.
Yeah, hotel bookings, and I mean, unless you can, you know, you can afford having a manager or somebody that handles all of that stuff for you, you know, it lands on you guys on top of having to perform every night and stay healthy and, you know, maintaining your health is the most important thing, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's why I sound like this. I'm driving, I'm singing, I'm fucking selling merch, you know, it's grueling and it's, you know, minus 20 every day. So it's a beautiful thing though, man. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah. There's very few things in this world. Like, you know, I mentioned earlier, I was in a band, like the feeling you get from being on stage, there is really no replicating that reaction from the crowd, you know?
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. And just, you know, jamming with your homies and making new music. It's just all of it combined is just a very special thing.
Word. If you were to do another project at all, do you have a different genre you would go for, or would it still be kind of in a similar, you know, vein?
It'd be stoner rock, and it'd be a band called Wilted Flower.
Wilted Flower?
Yeah, that's my side project one day when I'm like 45.
So like a stoner doom kind of thing?
You know, just hanging out on some stools and rocking out.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, I ran through all the questions I had. I mean, aside from if you want to wax poetically a little bit about the state of the world right now, you know, do you think we're in for some big changes in the next couple of years with the new election, or what do you think is happening?
I don't know, man. It's just another day in this world. You know, I don't think it's any crazier than it was 10 years ago or 12 years ago or 20 years ago. It's always been fucked, you know. So I think we just keep chugging along, man. I think, you know, we just try to figure out things as we go, because overall everything we're doing in life and what we do and what we think we know is all an experiment, man. So I'm just going to enjoy the ride, and, you know, hopefully one person or two people don't fuck it up for everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel that way, dude. It's just, it gets hard to actually, like, friends and social media and everything tries to bombard you with all this information. Like, you see what's going on with this guy, and you see what's happening with this guy. And it's like, I'm just trying to make money to pay my bills. And,
I mean, the big picture of that is to make people question what is truth, you know?
Yeah.
So I think there's a bigger, plot behind all of that's going on to everybody, you know? So, you know, few see through it, and few just kind of get sucked in and go with the game. So it just depends what kind of person you are, and that'll determine, you know, how you come out through all of this and every situation that you're faced with.
True. Yeah. I mean, that is how it is. You know, if you want to get involved in politics and rally and do union shit, and that's you, man, and that's what fulfills you. If you want to be on a road with a band, then you got to focus on that and not let anything else get in the way, you know?
Yeah, completely, man.
I hear you, man. I know that when you touch on topics like that and the struggles in music, you know, that topic seems to come up, and a lot of people seem to be distraught and stressed out about all this shit. And it's like, you guys have no control over it. You really,
exactly.
A lot of people don't.
If you just sit online and make posts about it, you're not really doing much. You know, it's the people that are, you know, you can bitch and whine and opinionate all you want online, but if you're out there on the streets actually doing something about it, then you can talk.
For sure. There you go. Yeah, like, I don't know, at one point that people thought that Facebook posts are some kind of legitimate political movement or anything. You know what I
mean? They totally do, man.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I suggest taking a bunch of acid and going and marching down the street to protest. Like,
that's much better.
Like in the 60s and the 70s. I mean, it worked.
Yeah, much better.
Do you take a lot? Have you done a lot of psychedelics, or do you stay away from that?
Oh no, I partied hard, man, when I was younger. That's for damn sure. I did everything I could and really just kind of enjoyed myself.
But not so much anymore?
You know, I did a little more than I ever needed to, so I think I'm good. But good luck. Like I said, I like to enjoy a fat joint, and, you know I can control that. It's not going to last longer than I want it to, or, you know, turn fucked up. So
yeah, you got stuff to take care of. You got shows to show up to.
But, you know, if I find the right time and place, I definitely love some mushrooms.
Yeah, I feel mushrooms to me are one of the ones that I can actually tolerate, because I know how long it lasts too. I know what I'm expecting. You know, with acid, you can, you know, depending on what it's mixed with, you might end up in another place that you weren't expecting.
Exactly.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, all right, dude. You're on the road right now, right?
Yep, rocking away. Got 8 more shows left, and then off to Europe.
Off to Europe. How long is the Europe run?
About a month and a half.
Woo. And does that complete the tour cycle for the album, or you got more dates after that?
Oh, not at all, man. We're just starting. These cycles go for like 3 years.
Woo. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, man. I mean, as long as they're touring and keeping it going and people are buying the record, you know, you just keep going.
Hell yeah. And I encourage everyone to actually pick up the record, you know, vinyl record, buy it, you know what I mean? Not just stream it off of Spotify, because that shit does not pay anyone anything.
Yeah, I'd even rather prefer you even get it off iTunes over Spotify, you know. At least iTunes, you know, pays you reasonably amount for each song, so.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. And that's one of the reasons I don't even put this podcast on Spotify. They wanted to charge me because I feature some of the music usually in the beginning or the end of the episodes. I put a little bit of the music so people can hear what, you know, if someone is listening to this right now and hasn't heard your music, by the end of this, if they're interested, they'll be like, all right, let me check it out. And fucking Spotify is like, no, I want money.
Oh, yeah. They're assholes.
It's nuts, man. It's nuts. And you know, I'm glad that some movement was made. Some people went and did some stuff in Congress regarding the musicians' rights and everything, but I still haven't seen a change. So
yeah, Yeah, that's for true, man. We just keep chugging along and keep rocking out. Hopefully shit'll change.
Fuck yeah, dude. Well, thanks so much for taking some time to talk. I know you're busy, you're on the road and shit, so best of luck on the road, and hopefully I'll catch you guys out here. I know you guys are playing in California soon.
Man, we got LA on Monday, man, so, thanks for the support. Thanks for keeping it heavy and,
fuck yeah, dude.
Heavy metal all the way, man.
Cheers, brother. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, brother. Bye.